Okay, Mark, what else we got?
Okay, one last thing. So basically, Netflix, their share price is down a lot. We talked about it a little bit on Patreon, but there's apparently more developments that like they're allegedly laying off employees, and that there's sort of like just investor panic in general going on at Netflix.
Because it's down 70%.
Yeah,
from the high when Schulz Saves America came out.
yeah,
It's probably coincidence.
yeah, maybe,
Probably.
Probably coincidence that literally their high was at when Schulz Saves America dropped.
But you could also say that's also what caused it to fall.
Wow.
So I mean, there's
Whoa.
two ways to look at it. You know what I mean?
Whoa.
I'm just saying you might want to
Yes.
be careful how you frame it. You know?
You're right.
Whoa.
Not having anything to follow Schulz Saves America
Yes.
caused the price to fall. Because when you look at content after you watch that, everything sucks.
Yeah.
So it seemed like everything else that was coming out on the platform sucked, but in reality, you're just comparing it to a masterpiece.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Picasso.
Yeah. Picasso.
It's
Let's
like
go.
Trying to get a head from a different girl after you had Amber.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Amber Heard.
Yo, you almost pulled that off.
I was gonna say Rose, bro. That's the only Amber I know.
No. It's changed up. There's Amber, and then there's Amber Rose.
Okay.
That's the rule now.
Nah. Rose got it.
So apparently they're gonna like try to run ads. Like there's conversations internally that they're gonna do like like, break it up with ads. Basically create YouTube 2.0. What do you think? Do you think it saves Netflix?
No.
I don't think so.
Go.
I think the main problem Netflix has is they don't have a show that you watch for comfort food. Like Friends is something you'll just put on. The Office is something you'll just put on. Maybe not you, but tons of people will just watch The Office. You used to say this to just fall asleep.
Yep.
Friends is something you'll throw on because I just want something that's nostalgic that I remember from my childhood. Whatever your show is, there's a bunch of those. Hulu has a lot of them. HBO Max has Friends. Peacock has The Office. Netflix doesn't have that. They have like Full House, but nobody does that. They have Seinfeld for how long? They pay for the rights to Seinfeld. It's not like...
And that's not that many people's comfort food, bro. Seinfeld is really not.
Seinfeld is probably the most rewatchable sitcom in the world.
Absolutely.
Nah,
It's easily the greatest sitcom of all time.
absolutely.
From
Friends is way
fucking
more
to Seinfeld.
rewatchable.
That's how good it is.
Yeah.
And I laugh while I'm fucking.
It's
That's
just
how good of a
to
show
see.
it is,
Weird
bro.
guy. That's a weird guy.
Same thing.
That's a particularly weird man.
Hey, it's not baby dick. Relax. I'm good.
But
I'm glad you give it up to another New York legend now.
Oh, absolutely.
That's nice to see.
Yeah.
You know?
Anyway.
Real recognized.
Anyway.
Real. I get flowers out there.
anyway, so I think your point is 100% right. And I think that you need a couple things for a successful streamer now.
Yeah.
You need comfort food, which is what they had initially.
Yeah.
But comfort food is not why people sign up. People sign up for a hot scripted show.
Yes.
They're like, oh my God, I need to watch this. Squid Game got really popping,
That was fire.
but it should never have been. Like you should have so many other shows that Americans can watch that they don't even know what's going on in Korea. The fact that like we found a Korean show means everything else on the platform sucks.
Generally, I agree with you. I think it's a little different with Korea just because K-pop and shit is so hot and Korean culture is so hot. And what's the fucking Parasite?
Yeah.
So I think there's some, but yeah, the idea
Even
that
Parasite, we're like, we shouldn't have seen it.
the idea that Americans are willing to read subtitles.
They're spending hundreds of millions of dollars on scripted shows.
Yeah,
like
more-
hundreds of millions.
Yeah.
They spent, I think, $1 million on Squid Game total.
Yeah.
That was not their investment for their next big show.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, okay, here's something cheap. Let's put it on. Maybe we'll pop over there, and if it gets over here, cool. Like,
And it's a fantastic show, and that's why it won. But I think his point is they should have a much higher hit rate. The last scripted shows they had before Squid Game, I remember, what was the rapist Kevin Spacey show that everybody loved
House of
at first?
Cards.
House of Cards, everybody's like, yo,
fire.
Netflix
sign
is
up for
kind of
that.
doing it.
Yep.
Then there was another show, Ozark. There was another show in between, I'm sure. And you're like,
Stranger
yo,
Things.
Stranger Things. You're like, yo, Netflix is fucking doing it. But they have fallen off since. They threw money at everything and very little hit.
so to the point that I was trying to make, it was that you need comfort food to sustain because you can't put a new show out every single week.
Yeah.
And you need the thing that people go to sleep to. Some people go to sleep to Seinfeld. Some people go to sleep to Friends. Some people just have it on in the back. My girl does it with what's it called?
Harry Potter's.
Harry Potter, right?
That's HBO Max, so you're sustained
exactly.
in between the good shows.
And that's
shows.
fine because it just reruns anyway.
Yeah.
So
And
it's
you
just
own it.
there. Exactly.
You don't have to pay. You got to pay for Seinfeld
But
every
you
year.
also need a scripted show that captures culture. And Squid Game did that. Ozark kind of did that. It never got so big that it was just the only thing people talking
I gave
about.
up season 2.
Yes, me too. So it's just like, And they haven't really had that. Their scripted department sucks. It just does. Like, they're not able to get the good shows. HBO is batting a crazy batting average. And then other shows are popping out like fucking Paramount Plus and stuff that are the conversation starters. And Netflix is just burning cash on these shows like Witcher, where it's like, I don't know what the fuck is going on here with Superman and like beasts and shit, but like, I don't care. I've tried to get into it. So they're burning cash, not creating anything that's tapping into culture. And the only thing that's really working for them is, like we were talking about before, documentaries. They're killing on documentaries.
Selling Sunset is like is a huge,
Unscripted.
unscripted.
I mean, that's probably scripted, but
low key, it's comfort food.
Comfort food.
Just throw on Selling Sunset, let it
fire.
rock. Throw on The Housewives, let it rock.
Nah, you watch that.
Wait,
shit.
why is it fire?
I
haven't
don't.
seen it.
Attemptedly.
My wife
It's
watches it.
popcorn and
It's,
colorful, but it's so phony. But
yeah, I can't do it.
It's popular.
People watch it.
Globally,
Yes.
it's popular. Like
Yes.
they've had $1 million listing that was on Bravo. You go on Netflix, and now all of them pop globally.
Is it just
But-
going to become MTV though, where it just becomes unscripted?
Yeah. I will say this: like Game of Thrones creators, Benioff and Weiss, they have the rights to a book called The Three Body Problem, and they have probably full control of the series. It's coming. I think there's a lull, to your point, for Netflix, but don't count them out yet. They have some massive things.
I'm not counting them out.
But
I'm
the
just
model
saying
needs to change.
what they need to do-
They're gonna make cuts globally. I mean,
No. The number one thing they need to do, and they need to do it right now, is stop binge culture. That they need to stop it. You cannot sustain. You have a show that comes out, and then everybody watches it over a weekend, and then the next weekend they're like, "Give me something." So you can't afford to keep Friends on because you need to create shows for people to watch. But they watch those shows so quickly that you need to make even more shows. That's why you're putting out hot garbage, because you have to maintain so many different things. If you have, like HBO's strategy, a few shows that you put years in development and get the right showrunners, get the right writers, get the right actors, and you have those shows there and they exist, we will wait a week for the next episode to come on.
That's a fact.
We're willing to do it. But right now, their whole model is drowning themselves. It's immediately stop the binging. The problem is they're not putting out good enough content where we'll wait a week. A lot of these shows we keep watching because we get it right after the show's finished. I don't know if a lot of those shows we're watching if we have to wait a whole week.
Oh, they had Bridgerton. Bridgerton was big. I remember.
And that's
you've heard about
Shonda. Like,
Bridgerton.
Shonda's one of the best to do it.
Narcos.
Yo, even Narcos, I'm like,
season one.
Well,
I
and they're
remember
coming
everyone
out with
crazy.
another the spinoff, the Griselda Blanco.
That could be big. But yeah, I think stop binge culture. And again, I think the problem with the legacy shows on the other networks, there was 22 episodes a season. So there's so many fucking episodes to watch. There are 200 plus episodes of The Office, of Friends, of Modern Family on Hulu. With a Netflix show, it's 6 episodes a season. So even if I'm like, oh, I can't, it's 30 episodes or whatever if it goes 5 years.
But also to the Netflix thing, to their model, like let's say it's 6 or 8 episodes, right? The reason it can't create a cultural moment as easy is because nobody's watching at the same time.
Yeah.
When we're all watching the Super Bowl at the same time, we're all reacting in real time to that stimulus. If we're waiting every week for the show to come out on HBO, if it's an episode of Game of Thrones, whatever it is, you actually give time for everybody to get on the same cultural wavelength.
Yeah.
Something can trend on Twitter faster because we're all watching at the same time. So they don't get the Twitter trends. They don't get Reddit popping. They don't get anything popping because we're all watching this at our own time.
But if the show is good enough, it could still catch culture.
It
Yes.
can,
'Cause
but
Squid Game,
that's a Squid Game.
everybody
And the
watched it every-
advantage-
And that's a once in a fucking blue moon for them.
To Andrew's point, sorry to cut you off, but the advantage of if 10 episodes come out over 10 weeks, by episode 8, if I caught it early, I've told all of my friends about it. And when episode 9 comes on, we're all sharing episode 9. If you just binge, I've seen the whole thing. Hey, tell me how it is when it's done.
Yeah.
We don't all talk about
you
it
miss
every
on the
week.
moment.
Put
Breaking
your balls
Bad-
on the table, bro. Like if you believe in the show, then if you believe in the show, then make us wait.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Put your nuts on the fucking table.
Remember when Breaking Bad, when it first came on, none of us knew about it. Because of Netflix, we all found it. Then by the time the last season rolled around, every Sunday, everybody knows texting each other. Yeah. None of us started watching the show. But now that it's every week, when that fucking Sunday comes on, I'm deciding between this and football. And nothing has ever made me
What if they
decide.
buy something in sports? They spend $8 billion a year in
You
content.
can't
This thing
get
insane.
Disney Plus, bro. You guys gotta stop
Disney
sleeping on
owns
Disney
ESPN.
Plus.
That's the other thing.
Gotta stop sleeping on Disney Plus, bro. It's the best streamer.
Who's sleeping on
the
Disney
best,
Plus?
best streaming platform out there. I don't even talk
He's
about
not
that.
wrong, bro.
Bro,
Nah,
you
they
get-
planned from 10 years ago
Bro.
what they were going to do, and then they dropped
You get
owning
Disney
everything.
Plus, you get fucking Marvel, you get every Disney movie, you
ESPN.
get Jack Sparrow, ESPN, all that shit. lights out.
They bought Fox's studio. Like they own fucking. They plotted while Netflix was busy pouring money into everything. I guess the idea was to build up the lead. It didn't really work. Disney was just like, let's just wait. Let's merge with Fox.
Almost
We
like,
own
does
ESPN.
Disney try to acquire
Let's
them?
get Marvel. Let's do that. And then they just they came with like whatever the big shit is. We got it.
I wonder if Disney tries to buy them on like a liquidation.
Low key.
Turn Stranger Things into a ride. Like you have all these properties you could just flip into like the parks and like add value that way.
If
Bail out their investors.
son, if they actually had properties that were valuable enough, yeah, I don't even know if they do. They got Stranger Things maybe, but Netflix. The thing about Netflix is they didn't make kid shit.
Yep.
They specifically steered away from it, which fucks them in an acquisition with
Actually,
Disney.
I think Cocomelon is Netflix.
I think they have kids. They have a
Yeah,
kids
they got-
thing.
You just don't watch it, but they make it.
But initially, the idea was like, "Yo, we're gonna make mature content."
Maybe, I'm not sure.
Maybe.
I think
but-
they were twofold.
That
Really?
Cocomelon
Yeah.
shit slaps crazy.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
and
So they're
Stones
making
and
kid
Co's the
shit. So
same.
maybe they do that and they can do some stuff. My understanding is that they were making more mature stuff, but I'm wrong, I guess. All I'm saying is, yo, it's something got to give, bruh. Something got to give.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah, big change is coming. Motherfuckers gonna get fired. You firing all the younger execs? I don't think that's the game changer.
Yeah, I don't think it's done. I think they definitely have a lot of chances to save it. I just think in terms of
course.
competing with YouTube, if that's what we were asking earlier, that was the first question you had. I don't think that's happening.
Oh, there's no YouTube is inevitable. It's not. It's inevitable. Like there's no competition. The only thing that they can do is outspend because YouTube isn't going to buy content.
Right.
But in terms of like getting your content out to the most people, like if your goal is how do I get the most people to see my shit, or it's you put it on YouTube. Simple as that. Now, everybody needs to feed their family and change their family's lives forever. I mean, that's an awesome opportunity.
Absolutely.
So Netflix comes with a super bag and they go, hey, would you like to do that? Yeah. I
it.
don't
Do
hesitate
it.
at all saying
Yeah.
that. But if they get to a point where they can't afford to offer the super bag and they can't provide eyeballs, that's where they're in a fucked up situation.
Yeah.